Hi everyone, this is a brief recap of what we have covered the last classes, more specifically about how to make a ball bounce with just a peg and how to emulate the weight of an object well through a proper use of curves. Alright, first things first, we already renamed our drawing with a proper name, in this case tennis ball, because we are gonna make a tennis ball. And right now we are making its palette, so I choose a bright yellow. And let's do a ball using the ellipse tool and painting it inside. You know what? Let's change the color in a more acid green and then paint inside the inner line with a light gray. Yeah, more like that. Okay, now with Ctrl or Command P, create a new peg or go here, insert peg, or also you can go in the timeline as well. And if it doesn't work and it shows up a window like this, that tells you to change in display all modes, you just need to go to scene, default display and display all, and that's it. Fixed! Now what you need to extend your drawing to the entire timeline. And you can do it selecting everything and press this button here, or F5, or just simply moving to the end your drawing and dragging it back where it was. The next step will be to move this dot here, that's the pivot point, to the center of our drawing. But how to do that? You don't just drag it to the center because it leaves like a little shadow here, you see it? That means it will eventually come back in its place every time. So if you do other actions, it will spawn again there. And to change that permanently, you need those tools up here. And if you don't see them, just right click here and check advanced animation. Okay, now use the rotation tool to move the pivot point to the center of your ball. And when it kind of satisfies you, make a keyframe at the beginning and then drag the ball down to the ground. At this point, if you think you would need an horizon level, and you will, I promise, just make one. That'll give you a better control of the ball. Okay, now press this button to connect those two keyframes. This connects them, this and this other one disconnects them. So that way you will let Harmony animate the movement for you. But when a ball hits the ground, it rises back up. So we would need to make another keyframe further in timeline to make the ball going up again. Okay, now if we play that, we'll see that the movement is anything but realistic. So we'd need to change that as up. And the faster way to do that is using curves. This, for example, is a window of pre-made curves. And if you select this one in the first frame and the opposite in the second one, you'll gain the most realistic result out of it. You see, if you switch on the onion skin, you will notice that the curve has already done its work. You could also check show control up here to better understand where frames are going. Okay, you see how much it changes adding just two curves. Okay, now I want you to add another peg and also rename the other we already used in bounce or whatever. The one we just created will be the rotation. Okay, now that you have it, you put it under the bounce and start setting it. Always change the pivot point position first. Then you can add your half rotation in the first frame and complete it in the second. Then you can play with it, checking if with curves it's cool or not. If not, you just need to change the rotation till it gets good enough for you. At this point, you just need to progressively lower the level of every bounce in sequence to give the ball the impression that it's slowing down. And remember to quality check once in a while, so you don't lose track of your movement. A bit too light, but works for me. Guys, remember to be as clean as possible with your node view, because at first it's easy to read, but if you neglect it, things stack up, transforming the node view in an unreadable mess. So why not add some backdrops, changing colors, names, and other things. Okay, now add a third peg, and place it under the rotation peg. And we will call it transform because we need the ball to squash and stretch a bit. Always change the position of the pivot point first, and then that's bad. In this case, we can clearly see the rotation is affecting our transform peg, so we just need to swap them up. Remember, Harmony's hierarchy works from top to the bottom. So basically, the node that's above the others rolls. Okay, now we are stretching the ball down to make it seem like it's hitting harder. Okay, it works. Okay, what do I need to explain you the difference between a tennis ball and a bowling ball? Correct! A bowling ball. So let's make this bowling ball. The process will be pretty much the same. So we create another palette with the other colors and we start drawing what should be our bowling ball. Always remember to change first every one of your pivots position before doing anything. And then animate that shit. Have you ever tried to throw a bowling ball like this? I did. And I can tell you, it doesn't fucking bounce that much. Here I also added a camera movement to accentuate the whack, but don't do that. You see, BAM! Like this. We will going through this next time together, I promise. But until then, do your homeworks and I will see you the next time. Also, let me know what you think about it and if you have questions down in the comment section. And subscribe if you already haven't. And remember, I expect